We have part 2. I left off on page 238. Bryce tugs at my jeans and whispers, "Where are we going to sleep?" I glance at Crystal. If she heard his question, she's not showing it. Well, I start, it'll probably be more crowded than before. Bryce looks around at our trash bags of stuff that are lined up in front of the sink, and then he bursts into tears. "Bryce," I say. I detach him from my legs so I can kneel down and wrap my free arm around him. Hector squirms out the other side of me, and even though I just said I would keep a close eye on him, I don't chase after him. Instead, I wrap my other arm around Bryce too. I don't even bother to ask him what's wrong, because what's the point? What isn't wrong? Hector is crawling towards the radiator. He'll find out soon enough that it's hot, and he won't want to touch it again. Just don't start licking the lead paint. It's too bad we didn't have time to grab his extra saucer. There isn't much in the kitchen to distract him with. Bryce is sobbing so hard that I feel his wet tears through my shirt, and I hug him harder. "I'm right here, Bryce," I whisper. "I'm always going to be right here." Bryce's whole body shudders with sobs. His head is buried in my shoulder, and I try to rest my head on his, but instead he pulls away to look at me. He gulps with the force of a sob before he can say anything else. His eyes are so scared. "But it's not here," he finally cries, waving frantically at the 3 trash bags in a line. The last trash bag. It had my lightsaber in it. I close my eyes. "Oh, Bryce, I'm so sorry. And I need that lightsaber," he cries. "I need it. I need it. I need it." He buries his face back into me again. "We'll find you another one," I murmur into his hair. "Don't worry." I look around to see Hector sitting happily on the linoleum floor playing with some takeout containers. Then another container is dropped right in front of him, and I realize Crystal has been washing them out in the sink and giving them to him. Her face is hard to read, but she doesn't look annoyed. More like curious. "But I need it." Bryce is still whimpering into my shoulder. "I need it." His chest shudders. "To fight off the bad guys." My breath catches in my throat. I grab Bryce by the shoulder and hold him so I can see his face. "You don't need your lightsaber anymore. You're safe from bad guys here, okay? Do you understand me? You're safe." Bryce is watching me with his puffy red eyes like he doesn't believe me. "You're safe here," I repeat. And I pull him back into my chest. "And no one here is going to tell you not to cry when you're sad." A few minutes later, Fuchsia comes through the door. She's a bit out of breath. "I found an extra mattress down in the basement, but I need help getting it up the stairs." I release Bryce and follow Fuchsia down the stairs to help. I'm sure I can get used to these stairs. I'm sure I'll get used to these stairs. "Zoe." I look up to see Bryce watching for the landing. "Yeah," I say. "Did Fuchsia find the mattress just for us?" "Yeah, buddy, I think she did." Bryce bites his lip and nods, and then heads back into the apartment. Fuchsia calls for me from the bottom of the stairs. "Zoe, are you coming?" "Yep, on my way." On Monday morning, I take the bus with Fuchsia. We don't talk much. She's never been much of a morning person. I haven't gotten much sleep based on the fact that Bryce is still waking up with nightmares. And when I try to get him to sleep, my mom and Hector are somehow always taking up most of the bed. I guess the last time she and I shared a mattress with the baby, that time it was Bryce, I was smaller. It's weird that Fuchsia isn't waiting for me at my locker. She has mumbled something about going to the nurse and had disappeared as soon as we got into the school. Maybe she didn't sleep well the last 2 nights either. I don't know if she's much of a fan of having to share beds with Crystal, but she insisted that Bryce and Aurora could use hers. Still, it worked out that she's not leaning against the locker next to mine since someone's decorated up and down with Valentine hearts. I guess today is Valentine's Day. I stuff my jacket into my locker and head into homeroom. Inside, everyone's in a tizzy over who got carnations and from whom and how many. Miss Popularity Savannah Bobbins is at her desk surrounded by most of the homeroom. Hold on, I lost count again. I have to start all over. I give them wide berth and find my way to my seat in the back. As soon as I sit, I put my head down on my desk and close my eyes, but I can still hear her squealing. "Who's this red one from?" someone asks. "You know what red means, right?" "Hey," someone close to me says, "I think they'd all put they'd all say put and not when they're back here. So I just wanted to say, the close by voice says, who is he talking to? It's like he's right on top of me. I sneak a peek out from under my arm and I see Matt. I lift my head. He's not talking to anybody though. No, I mean, he is. He's talking to me. I just hadn't really thought about those things until you said them, he's saying. And you were right about Silas. I sat with him on the bus today so I could apologize, and he wasn't anything like I had been thinking. I opened my mouth, but nothing comes out. So I just wanted to say, Matt continues, that I'm sorry and that you should come back to debate club. You're really good at it. I quickly look away and shake my head. You're the kind of person who should be in the debate club. Someone who can be confident without getting so upset that they knock over a cardboard cutout of Harry Potter. Like when you gave that speech before the student council election, totally professional. I glance at him and he's looking more comfortable than I think I've ever seen him. Can I tell you a secret? He whispers. I look up. Is he blushing? What? I say. My mom wrote that speech for me. She did? Yeah, it was easy to claim it since it was a good speech. And since most of the people watching were my friends. Your mom really wrote that for you? I still can't get over that. Sorry guys, my phone fell. I'm gonna have to hold it for a minute. Yeah, is that wrong? I figure it was a better speech than I could have written, and people deserve a good speech. So he trailed off. That was probably wrong, wasn't it? I shrugged. I just couldn't imagine my mom ever writing a student council election speech for me. I just wanted people to like the speech, you know? Yeah, I know. But that's why you should come back to debate club, because you don't need your mom to write a speech for you. You don't even need notes. Lydia wants you to come back too, because you just say what you think, you know, and that's really cool. I try to picture going back to debate club. Could I really do it? Wait, did Matt Hubbard just call me cool? Like, really, he continues. I think I'd score better points at the tournament if I could be more like you were on Friday. I look at him, at his nicely combed hair, at his pleading brown eyes, at his complete cluelessness that somehow it all comes down to how many points you can score in the tournament. I take a deep breath. I think that sometimes you need to have your back up against the wall to find out what you're made of. And you just haven't had that happen to you yet. Matt nods, like he totally gets what I'm saying, and that maybe he can even order a having your back up against the wall experience online and have it delivered to your house. You know what could be good to do? I say, because if somehow the world had turned upside down and I, Zoe Albro, am giving Matt Hubbard advice, then I might as well keep going. If you imagine what it's like to have your back up against the wall all the time, you might be less likely to assume someone's stupid and evil. I glance down at the desk, especially someone like Silas. I never see Silas during the school day except at lunch, but usually he's in a mute mode, so that doesn't really count. Today is different because when I'm on my way to the hot lunch line, I see him crossing the cafeteria and he's coming right over to me. Where were you this morning? He asked, with words, out loud words. People are streaming past us on their way to the line. It's kind of complicated. I say, we kind of moved. But Lenny's car was still there last night. Moved without Lenny. I say, moved because of Lenny. Silas bites his lip and nods. Oh, he studies the cafeteria floor. Matt Hubbard talked to me on the bus this morning. He said something about me at debate club. He said something about me at debate club. I'm sorry, I say quickly. It wasn't really my business, but thanks, he says. He looks up at me now and his freckles want me to connect them into rainbows and unicorns. Matt and I talked for a while. It was cool. I look away from his freckles. Did you tell Matt about bobcat hunting? No. Why? Because it's your special secret. That's why. No reason. You know, my dad and I are going back out to scout Squaretail Brook again early on Sunday. He steps to the side to get out of someone's way. The bobcat hunting season ended last week, but I still want to find some sign of it, something to prove that it's really there. I study the fake wood pattern in the closest cafeteria table and try not to show how much I suddenly wish I could be scouting Squaretail Brook with him. You know, it's cool that you're doing debate club. Silas says, that takes a lot of guts. I shake my head. I just did it for a few weeks. I don't know if I'm going to go back. I follow the concentric circles of the fake wood as they get bigger and bigger. Well, it sounds like you're pretty good at it based on what Matt said. Okay, guys, I am at page 246. So I'm going to go ahead and stop. And all we have left is day 30's reading, which will be 247 through 255. And we are done with the book. So there's been lots of turns and lots of things going on the past 2 days of reading. And I'm excited for you to see how it ends. And I'll see you soon.